Just chilling. Just wanted to talk to you guys today, man. Didn't want to have a show agenda or anything like that. Just wanted to get on and talk about Big 12 football. Big 12 football. Can it take a step forward? Last year, I think the Big 12 did a heck of a job last year in representing itself. I think it got jobbed in the college football playoff. I have no problem saying anything like that because I think it's the truth. I think the Big 12 as a whole, it got robbed. I think the Big 12 deserved two teams in and didn't make it. And I think it was garbage. I think the Big 12 absolutely deserved to have two teams into college football playoff and represented itself well. What's going on, Bracket Cat? We're just talking today, man. That's today's show, man. We'll be doing these from time to time throughout the off season. No show agenda, just getting on here, talking, answering any of your all's questions. But yeah, I think the Big 12 got jobbed for sure last year in the college football playoff. Absolutely. I don't even think it's up for debate. I think they should have had at least, or not at least, they should have had two teams in. BYU deserved it. They deserved to be in, and they weren't. It was ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Don't tell me about SMU making the playoff. BYU beat them. Well, SMU played another game. Well, okay, they didn't have to lose it just because you played in another game. I'm just trying to figure out in what world do we reward losing? Like, hey, you qualified to play in another game, but you lost. So doesn't that have to be counted against you? But apparently not. Apparently, when you lose, it depended on how you lose, but if you lose, it doesn't get counted against you. So, and I apologize. We're going to take a little walk here because my dog is barking and she needs to go out. So, but we'll keep going. Don't worry. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like in hoops, or in basketball or football, there's no way that Kansas or that the Big 12 should have not had more than one team. They should have had two. BYU should have absolutely been in there. You can't reward losing. And that's what the selection committee did. They rewarded losing. Now, they didn't go crazy with rewarding of the losing because they could have put in one of those SEC teams that had lost 3 games. But I think they knew people were going to lose their absolute minds if they were to have done that. And they should have. There's no reason for there to be those kind of SEC teams in this. There's absolutely no reason for that. So I agree with what happened. But we gotta start getting some more representation. And the one thing about it is like the Big 12, they played well. I thought Arizona State last year, I thought it made sense. So I thought they played well. They represented the conference well. And, oh my goodness, my dog's going nuts. Barking at Scrubber in the pool. I thought they played well. And represented the conference well. Represented the conference very well. So I thought it was great. I really did. Got to do more, though. Got to start winning. It's like I said, they played well and represented well, but they ended up losing the game. We can't lose the game. We got to win. Got to be able to close that door. So, got to be able to close that door, get over the hump, and win the game. Now the question is, what happens in 2025? In 2025, what does it look like in the Big 12? What does it look like? We don't know. We don't know. Sorry about this. Boop. But yeah, so we'll find out. We will find out. I'm excited about the football season this year, though. I can't wait for it to start. Houston Hoops did too? Absolutely. And that's the thing. We have no hardware to show for it. I get my dog back inside. Come on. Go. But yeah, we didn't. Houston played well, represented the conference well, but nothing. So at some point, we got to start cashing in. You know what I mean? We got to cash in on what we've been doing. It's not good enough to just get there, you know, because anybody can say, hey, we got there, we played well, we got there, but we lost. Well, okay. But we got to start winning. We got to start winning. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what can go on. You know, I'm excited to see what can go on. You know, we'll see. We'll see. But as far as football, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. K-State better make a playoff run this year. Here's the thing. And we're talking about K-State. I said it at the beginning of last year. I said K-State has to improve their offensive line. I was like, their offensive line is going to be the key to the season. We lost a bunch of guys. I go, we got to see if this line is going to be good. Everybody just assumed that the line was going to be great. Well, it wasn't. And so then the season wasn't. And they didn't trust Avery Johnson enough, you know, to throw the ball down the field. They didn't trust him to throw it over the middle. So if you're not going to trust him to do that and your offensive line isn't great, it causes for a season not to be as good. And that's what happened here. That's what happened. You know, I think K-State will be better this year. I think Texas Tech is going to be better this year. I really believe Texas Tech is going to be better this year. I think TCU has a chance to be better this year. I think the Big 12 is going to be a really good football conference. I think it's going to be really good. Now, they're going to have to do some stuff in non-conference to start getting some support, to get some credibility. But they've got an opportunity. They've got an opportunity. What I would really like to see is like 3 or 4 teams kind of separate themselves, you know, just like in basketball. We saw it in basketball. I'd like to see 3 or 4 teams, you know, separate themselves from everybody else. And if they can do that, then I think as a whole, I think the conference would be better off, you know, and I don't mean every single year. I'm not talking about it has to be the same team every year. I'm just talking about this specific year. So I don't know if West Virginia is or not. I'm sorry, Nancy. And I love Mountaineer fans because they're passionate and they know what the hell they're talking about. And you know me, I love when people know what the hell they're talking about. I don't like the Rich Rod hire. I don't like it. It smells like desperation. It smells like desperation on West Virginia's part, and I don't think that's a program that needs to be desperate. That's my only thing about West Virginia. It smelled like a desperation hire, and I didn't think that West Virginia, and you're saying it is. See, I don't think West Virginia, I didn't think they were in that mode. I get it. Neil Brown happened, and they didn't fire him last year because of the season that he had, but you fired him this year. Okay, I get it, but I didn't think you needed to be in desperation mode, and they went into desperation mode. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So Bracket Cat says, I can name 7 to 8 Big 12 teams that can win the league this year. What are yours? Yeah, I think, let's see, Iowa State, Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona State, Kansas State. That's 5. Who am I leaving out? I don't think Utah or Oklahoma State. I don't think they can. I don't think West Virginia can. Who am I leaving out? Arizona can't. Colorado can't. I mean, I named 5. I got 5. I'll have to do a deeper dive. I don't think TCU's there yet. But we'll see. We'll see. You know, again, hell, we got a whole nother transfer portal to go through before we even decide on that. So thoughts on BYU this next season after a solid season? I think BYU is in their wheelhouse. I think BYU is in their wheelhouse. I think they came into the league the first year. They had some injuries, but, you know, I had some pushback on this, but I I talked to the guys at Media Day about BYU. I talked to BYU players and coaches, and they all said the same thing. They didn't realize how physical the Big 12 was. And so when they came into the league, they just weren't physical. And they needed to change that. And they did. They did. You know, and I've had some people, well, BYU's always been physical and you don't know what I'm like, I'm telling you what their coaches are telling me. I'm telling you what their players are telling me. They said it. I didn't make it up. They told me, hey, we didn't realize how physical the Big 12 was. And we were not prepared for it in our first year. So we had to make some changes. And they made the changes. And look what happened. I mean, it's just a matter. And that's the whole thing. They made the changes. So KU's not winning the Big 12. I don't care about Jaden Daniels coming. KU's not winning the Big 12. Baylor maybe. You know, Baylor's got a shot. You talk about a team that made a complete turnaround. Baylor got left for dead by everybody. And they should have been left for dead by everybody. And lo and behold, they go on a run. Not only did it save their job, it saved the program probably at 3 years of being down. So Baylor's got a shot. They got a shot. But I really like that, you know, Arizona State, I know they lost Cam Scatteraboo, but I'm sorry. In football, not just college football, but in football in general, a running back is something that you can replace. You know, replacing a quarterback, difficult. Offensive lineman, difficult. You know, difference makers on the defensive line, corner, you know, it's a running back. You can find a running back. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to have the same type of, you know, they're not going to have the same ability. They're not going to have the same impact. I'm not saying that, but you can find a running back. You can find that person to run the football for you and catch the ball out of the backfield. You can find that guy, especially at the college level, you know. So, again, that's not taking anything away from Cam Scatteraboo. I thought he was incredible last year for the success of Arizona State. But I would be doing Arizona State a disservice if I said that he was the only thing that they had, because he wasn't. He wasn't. So that's my thoughts on that. I like them. I like BYU. But we'll see. We will see. K-State. I like K-State. If K-State fixes their offensive line, K-State's going to be a problem for teams. They're going to be a problem, but they got to get the offensive line right. Got a new coach, so they got to get it right. If they get it right, then okay. And I like the K-State fact because I like Matt Wells as the offensive coordinator. I like that. So we'll see exactly what happens moving forward with them. But we can talk about KU. You know, KU had all those expectations last year and didn't do anything. Just fell flat on their face. Literally flat on their face. Don't have those high expectations this year. Is it going to be the exact opposite? Are they going to go back to what they were in 2024 or 2023? That part I'll be interested to see. You know, I'll be interested to see that. Very interested, to be honest with you. But I think the Big 12's got to start earning some respect. It's time to start earning. Last year, people wanted to give us respect. I think they gave it to us because Arizona State played really good game against the Texas. Should have won the game, got robbed. I have no problem saying it. Everybody knows it. They got robbed. Having said that, they still had opportunities to win, and they blew it. So I think the Big 12, now it's time you got to earn respect. I think this year you got to win a playoff game. You got to win a playoff game. You know, I know that seems tough. It's like, hey, what if we're on the road? Whatever. Got to win a playoff game, man. You got to do that. Because once you start stacking up wins in the college football playoff, then you can start talking, hey, you know what? Maybe this conference is better than what I thought it was. You know, Maybe this conference has a little something that maybe we just didn't give it credit for. But the only way you can do that is you have to beat those other teams. So, are you attending any games next season? If so, what game? Last year, you went to one of the best games without knowing. I went to the K-State Colorado game. You're right. It was crazy. I don't know yet. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like this year as far as going to a game. You know, I do another podcast called Steelers Almighty, and we do a lot of stuff on game day. So I can't just be gone. Last year, it worked out because I was coming back, and the Steeler game wasn't until late, so the schedule and everything worked out. So I've got to be able to BYU and SMU. Yeah, I did go to that game, didn't I? I forgot about that. Yes. That was right there in my own. And I was like, I want to go see because I was like, I want to go see BYU because I didn't even think SMU was going to be any good. But I did go to BYU, SMU. I sure did. That was a good football game, too. Real good football game. So not too far. It's in Dallas. It's about 30 minutes from me. So not too far. I forgot all about that game. Thank you for reminding me. See good? But yeah, I think it's time that the Big 12's got to start earning that respect on the field. They have to. Got to win in the playoff. Don't know. I'll get into it. Obviously, we'll do a deeper dive into the team schedules and what they look like and record predictions as we get closer. But we got a long way to go before we get there. Long way to go before we get to anything like that. But, you know, if you play some people in the non-conference, you got to be able to win. That's the whole thing. You can't play good. You can't, hey, we kept it close. No. You got to win. You got to win. And if you do that, then the respect will come along with it. The respect will come right along with it. So if y'all have any questions, man, throw them up on the screen. Hit the like button if you would. I would appreciate it. Subscribe if anybody's in here who's not already subscribed to the channel. But yeah, ask away. Whatever. Like I said, we're open. I'm wide open for any questions today. So let's see. So did the CFP committee? Oh, yeah. I get it. Where's that channel for the Steelers, Big B? It's called Steelers Almighty, Nancy Smith. Steelers Almighty. I am a diehard. It's on YouTube, by the way. I am a diehard Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Diehard. I started that channel a year ago. It was almost a year ago exactly. It was a year ago in a week because we started on April 4th of 2024. So, Nancy, if you get an opportunity, make sure you go subscribe to Steelers Almighty. And anybody else, if you like good content and pro football, whether you like the Steelers or not, you would like that. So, Zach Frazier, that guy. Whew. Great center. Great pickup last year out of West Virginia. Very, very good. Very, very good. And Nancy, I'm going to ask you, what was the thought process? Are the West Virginia fans thinking like you and think that the Rich Rod hire was just a desperation move? Because, again, especially the way that it ended there, how it ended, you would think there's no way in hell that they're going to bring this guy back. Now, I know that there were some alumni that never wanted him to leave. I get that. But, man, I'm like, why are you bringing this guy back? It's like, you're a program that doesn't need that. Like, Central Florida brought back Scott Frost. I understand that. Central Florida, Scott Frost got him up and going, moving well in the right direction. I understand them bringing him back. That makes sense. West Virginia is not in that realm. West Virginia is well established. They didn't need to bring back Rich Rod. First of all, is he like a West Virginia native? And maybe he is, I don't know. But is he like the godson of West Virginia or something. I'm like, why are we bringing this guy back? He didn't invent or he didn't build West Virginia football. Like, he's not the godfather of West Virginia football. Did he build it up when he was there? Yes. But man, whew. Oh, Lord, ugly. What are your thoughts on any additional conference realignments? Oh, my goodness. I don't think there's going to be anything in this offseason. That's the one thing. I think all the conference realignment stuff, I think everybody is just bracing for the House lawsuit to be over with and to find out how much money they're going to have to pay out to everybody. I think everybody's just bracing for that right now. So I think that's what it is. Oh, Rich Rod grew up 12 miles from Morgantown? I didn't know that. I didn't know that. But that's my whole thing is that with, I don't know about conference realignment, but whatever it is right now, I don't think there's going to be much movement in the offseason. I don't think there's going to be much movement at all this offseason as far as conference realignment. I think it's going to be pretty calm. I think the waters are going to be pretty calm, which is refreshing. It's refreshing from what we've had to deal with in the past. It's absolutely refreshing. So even if Rich Rod is from West Virginia, he didn't build that program. West Virginia was established, well established before Rich Rod got there. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do a good job while he was there, because he did, but he didn't build the West Virginia football program. He didn't do that. And that's why I say it was a reach. Like, why are you bringing this guy back? I don't like it. I don't like it, and I'm not going to hide my feelings on it. I don't like it, not one single bit. Not one single bit. So, well, all right, man. I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate everybody being in here. We're going to do this a lot in the off season. I'm going to do this a lot in the off season. Well, another question. In your opinion, is the Big 12 better than the SEC? No, Big 12 is not better than the SEC. I think the SEC is absolutely overrated, top heavy, but it's got more, their teams, they have more really good teams than what the Big 12 has. So no, I don't believe that it's better. I don't think the margin is like it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, but even then it's like people act like the entire SEC is just some great conference. How good is Mississippi State? Vandy. How good Auburn? You can go down the list. How good are these teams? They're not that good. They're not that good. But they are better. They do have a better conference. I'm not going to deny that, but the margin just isn't as crazy as what people want to make it out to believe. The margin just isn't near as wide as what people want to make it out to believe. So, well, I appreciate you all, man. Thank you. Like I said, be on the lookout around 11 o'clock during the weekdays. We're going to start doing a lot more lives just like this. I think this is fun. It's a good setting. Appreciate it. Everybody have a good weekend, man, and I will talk to you soon.